everyone, it's Christy here. I just have my layout spread out there so you can kind of see what it's going to look like when it's all finished. Well, obviously it's not even close to being finished, but kind of how I start with the cards in there and the photos and stuff. I wanted to work on this insert first though, to kind of set the tone for the layout. So the insert is to honor the passing of my husband's grandfather. So you saw me trim down that page protector. It's the page protector, I'm sorry, I don't know what design it is, that has the 6x6 squares. So I just trimmed off the two squares on the right hand side, and I'm left with these two 6x6 squares. I went through my 6x6 paper pads to find paper that would be matching the colors that I decided to use in my layout. And I came up with this gray piece. I want to say it's from like an Amy Tangerine paper pad, but I actually got it in a rack, so I'm not quite sure where it's from. And it just says like, love this life. And then I got out some red cardstock that I'm matting the funeral program on. So when you were taking it out of the pocket, you're still able to open it. And I'm just showing you that there. So that was pretty easy, even though I struggled to find what I was looking for. I had a really hard time finding the blue that is in the cloud and balloon card. I had a hard time finding papers that matched. So I want to put that 4x6 card in the top part of the pocket, and so I'm going to put some sequins in the middle. And I just pull out some red, some copper, some kind of clear stars, a little bit of blue, and then 2 wood veneer hearts. I'm just playing around with them because they were kind of all sitting on top of each other, so I just spread it out. So I found it's easier to spread it out before I fuse it together. And I'm just fusing now. I'm just using like this metal picture or decorative piece that I have, and it works perfectly because doesn't get damaged or anything. But I know lots of people use like a glass cutting mat or cutting board, but that's what I had available, so that's what I used. So that's all in there. And then when the family was planning the funeral, the priest that was performing the funeral ceremony asked for all the grandchildren to kind of complete these sentences. So like things like, I will always remember, we are blessed, sorry, I can't remember. I can't remember the other 2. There was 4 for sure. So anyway, my husband and I completed a few of the prompts, and I just printed it out after emailing it to the priest. I just printed it out because I knew that I wanted to use it in an insert. So that's what I'm doing now. So there was quite a few sentences, but I just kind of picked the 4 that I thought really represented our feelings about Opa, and I start trimming them down. And when I start trimming them down, I realized that there's really only room for 1. So I started, thankfully, with the one that I thought was the best, and it was something that my husband actually wrote about his grandfather. So I thought that was important, just to have some of my husband's thoughts and feelings in the family album. I mean, he's not heavily represented so far in my album, but I do want to put some of his memories and things in as well, obviously. So I cut down the paper into strips, and then I want to mat it onto the red cardstock. And so I just kind of speed through this for you because you don't need to watch me fiddling around with this, because there's going to be a lot of fiddling to come. But yeah, so the paper that I have it on is like a blue check, and I end up swapping that out a little bit later because it just wasn't really doing anything for the layout. So yeah, I glue all these down. And I could have just left it as is, like just the little sentence on there, but I wanted to go through my embellishments because I felt like there was quite a bit of empty space that needed to be filled. So I bring out some wood veneer, and I also bring out some blue embellishments. And because the blue is like such a interesting shade, I bring out my bowl of blue, but I also bring out my bowl of like turquoise or teal embellishments and just pull out some of the things that I think might work. So I pull out that like little flag that says memories, and then I have a doily and like this gray piece. I don't end up using any of those. So you might have noticed that as I was moving my bowls, I lose a piece of this sentence, and it takes me quite a while to realize that part of the sentiment is now missing. And a little bit later, you'll see me hunting around for it, and I never do find it. It's not until I start editing this video that I figure out that it went missing, but I remedy the situation a little bit better. So here I am, I'm just playing around with the balance. I really like that story wood veneer from Freckled Fawn. I pull out this blue doily and then like this doily that has gray polka dots that I think will tie in a bit of the gray on the opposite side of the layout, which I have there on the right just to kind of compare the balance of colors. And I finally swap it out. I swap it out for this blue star patterned piece of paper. And the blue doesn't match perfectly, but at this point, I'm like frustrated and don't really care. And I mean, they're all shades of blue, so how wrong can I go? I pulled out some wood veneer letters that just says My Opa, because it was something that my husband said. I considered putting the word my, but then because the family album is mostly from my point of view, I thought it would be kind of confusing to write the word my because he's not my Opa by blood, but yeah. So I considered putting the wood veneer in the center, and it's at this point where I realize I'm missing a piece. So you'll see me like reading and rereading and reconfiguring and trying to figure it out. I'm lifting stuff up, I'm putzing around, like saying like, where could this possibly have gone to? So I'm still looking. So anyway, I go through again and I figure out that I can kind of trim down one of the strips so that it does make sense. So I trim that down, and I just decide to go with the white doily in the center, and then putting the strips of paper down. So the sentiment says, "I will always remember his love of farming." Ready to go at 4:30 a.m., always willing to help out, even into his 90s. So he passed away at 101. He would have been 102 in November, and he was farming up until the age of 95. So he lived an amazing life, a long life, full of love. He was almost married to his wife for 67 years. He passed away 2 days short of their 67th wedding anniversary. He had 9 children, tons and tons of grandchildren, quite a few great-grandchildren. So, I mean, he lived an amazing life. And it was a very sad day when he passed, and his funeral was very sad. And that card in the top with the wood grain border is going to hold quite a bit of journaling, along with another card that is on the actual weekly spread. So I didn't do that on camera. I really wanted to take my time with that, so I didn't do that. Here I am. I just stamped with a rotary stamp the words remember, and I did it 3 times and added this person wood veneer. And now I'm adding the word OPA to the journaling card there. And once I get the O and the P on, I decide it needs something else. So before that dries, I just get some of this washi tape from Freckled Fawn. It has it's red and has little hearts on it. So I put that down and layer on the wood veneer on top. And I like the way that looks for now. I might go back and add some like enamel dots or something. So I decide that that card needs a little bit something extra. So to bring in the brown from the wood grain card a bit, I have this Mr. Huey's spray, and I decide to splatter it. And I've seen this done tons. I've done it a few times myself. I'm not that good at it, so I put it in a box and make a huge mess. And yeah, that's the way it looks. But here's some close-ups for you. I hope this really does help you with some ideas of how to document like the not so good things and the loss of a loved one. So thanks so much for watching.